Are we live? You just missed something funny. I was going through ages and everything else with Molly, who's our model today. You've seen her loads of times on the Academy and things, and she's great. And we were working out the age differences. And I said, oh my God, I'm old enough to be a granddad. And Brandon goes, it's okay, we're live. But we weren't, little liar. Right, Mark Cleghorn, welcome into Studio 2. And as promised, we're in changing rooms. So the last time we saw this a couple of weeks ago, we were kind of in a pretty much blank room and we were talking about the things that we could physically do to create a multi-use studio or a specific use studio. Today we're looking at, in fact for the next 3 weeks, we're looking at specifics. So today it's boudoir and we're going to be shooting a few shots as well, but it's really not about pose, flow or anything else today. It's just about variety. Let me first of all talk you through everything kind of live, so you can, if you only watch for 4 or 5 minutes, then basically you know what it's about. So we're using two lights. We've gone backwards, so in other words we've minimized the amount of kit. I've opted for a kind of raw flash, which in this case is in a highlight, and that is going to be acting like a big window for us. Okay, there might be times that I switch the modeling bulb on and off. The only reason being in that is if I don't want it to fire and I don't want the modeling bulb to record, because I'm shooting like the likes of f4, and even a modeling bulb at 100 ISO will, if it's up full power, will basically record a bit like a room light in a house and things really. Okay, so that's our one light. It's an Elinchrom 500 ELC Pro HD head. We're using another Elinchrom, but this is 1000 head, exactly the same ELC Pro HDs, yeah. The difference being is on this head, we've got a softbox, a Photix Raja 60 by 90, is it? Yeah. The main thing is we've got the grids on. We'll see those used to kind of control the lighting. So that's the lighting done, all right? Remember, there's a little kind of trigger on top of my hot shoe that tells which flash or both flashes to fire. So this is on group 4, okay? This light is on group 4, and this light is on my group 1. So I'll be explaining that as we're going through. I wanted a 4-sided studio in a small space. So the only thing you're not going to see is the window being used today, because basically we're shooting towards this direction for obvious reasons. We needed somewhere to put the junk, yeah? I don't mean you, Molly. You're definitely not junk, darling. Okay, so basically the sofa and basically the TVs and the cameras and so on are just actually in that point. So what are we doing? I've gone for a background support here, with just material from IKEA, netting from IKEA. You see this used time and time again. That's going to be my window light as such, really. That's where we're going to start with. We're using the Lastalite by Manfrotto Highlight. This is the 7x5 size, so not the biggest one at all. We've got an event background to just really add some control. Plus, if I needed to turn a small changing room, this is an easy thing to actually use, all right? You'll see that we've got a clamp on the top of the event background. These are tether tool clamps, in fact, where they're kind of spigots, and they kind of just tighten onto likes of the event background kind of metal. So we're going to be using that. We've got a lighting stand here that's on wheels. That's just going to make it easier for me to move things in and out. But we're going to change the whole look by moving this netting across the highlight to create a window as well. We've got some pop-up backgrounds just over here. You'll definitely be seeing those used in a minute. Obviously, we've got a bed. It's boudoir, so why not have a bed? We'd usually have a seat, a kind of a chaise. In this case, Molly's on it, and you won't see it today, but it's one of the clip-hand sofas from IKEA. And basically cheap as chips, but they look great. They don't really date at all. Over on this side then we've got you've seen this lips kind of background feature before. It's £5 or four quid from online. Took around about 7 weeks to get from China, but it's cheap as chips, so who cares? And I've got another one of these kind of background supports on 2 little clamps, which we'll look at later. And that allows me to kind of move their positions. So I'm looking to really kind of show off. In addition, I've also got images that are around the wall. So we can see 2 here, yeah? Plus behind, we've also got a reveal wall. Basically a good way to actually sell your boudoir photography. We'll get back to that as well, okay? Just behind here, I'm not sure if it can be seen, but there's a 24-inch in a frame, so it's a 30-inch glass, we call that. I want images all around the place to ensure that the client is thinking wall art as well as actually kind of our memory boxes and so on. And there's some other stuff around, including the changing room. Right, I think it's better that we actually just get on and shooting things really. So, metering first, yep. I'm going to be using, first of all, the highlight as my main light. I would usually use this in the vertical, and I'd usually be using the bigger version, the 8.7. But again, with restricted space and trying to be real for you, how you kind of set all this up for around about £1,000 really. You could do it for much less, of course, if you've already got things like the event background and lighting and so on, then it's pennies. Oh, the only thing I didn't say was obviously we put the vinyl floor down as well. I like it because it gives me a great look. So let's, first of all, meter. So if Molly's going to be around about here, I need to actually get some light from here. So we're working on f4 today. So that was showing 1.43. So let me just push that up. Now obviously some flash won't be able to increase as drastic as mine. 1, 2, 3. Measure twice, cut once, as my woodwork teacher, Mr. McCreary, used to say. And then in the same way, we're going to actually be photographing here. So we're metering towards the light. So I just, oh, that's f4 straight away. So all I've done is change. I'm not sure which camera is the best. I've just changed from group 1. Can you get closer on that? So we've basically, group 1 was the light in the sky. That's what we metered first. Group 4 was basically the highlight light itself. Okay, so you know we're working on f4. Princess in pink, please. Come on down. So I've basically shooting on a 50mm lens, 160th of a second. We're using tether tools into Capture One to basically get the kind of images straight away. That's this orange cable, yeah? Okay, darling, let's go into, just stand by the white for a minute, shall we? So go back a little bit more for me, please, darling. That's lovely. And we're going to turn the body towards here. So because I'm turning the body towards here, it means technically the light in boudoir will be coming from the left. So that means I'm in group 1. So let's see what that image is like first of all. Okay, let's quick focus. And the focus is switched off, Mark. That would help if we switched it on. Let's just take the shot. Let's do it. Okay, let's just see the first image come through, fingers crossed. Great, so we've got a nice little image, but she's looking at me and the light is coming in from the side and the back. So technically it's not a usable light as it is there. But Molly, if you just turn your body to me and just look around towards there and just looking out towards here for me. That's beautiful, just there, let's do it. Same thing again. If you turn your back to me as well and you grip the net in and just kind of step in and look higher towards that light for me, and relax, darling. Okay, so we've definitely got usable light there, agreed, and we've got a working exposure. So that's the netting in use, right? Let's look at the lighting from the highlight now. So this is just on my Skyport here. This is the Elinchrom trigger that tells which light to fire. I'm just going to push it onto group 4. And in this case, because the light is coming in from my right, turning the body as she's done it already, let's just bring this hand to here and this hand to the pan and give me a high right, that's it. And again for me, turning the head around towards here. Now, whenever we do the first shot, we need to look at it. So it's beautiful, love it. Okay, turn the head a little bit more. It's nice and soft as well, of course. Let me, can I have some batteries, please, Brandon? Camera bag for me. Batteries are dead. One sec. Okay, we've had a busy day. You just love it when it goes live like that. Okay, just feed that in. Fingers crossed we'll go live. There we go. A little bit of power. So let's do that same shot. Let's make sure it's coming up on screen. And once more. Now, Brand, we need batteries, bud. That one was out as well. Boy, have we been busy today. Don't stand there with them. They're no good over there, bud. Thanks. Sorry, Molly. One second. There we go. Let's get that live. Let's get that one's camera battery. Okay, let's try again, shall we? Let's do that quick test again. So this is our light coming in from the side. Let me just check it's going to fire. Just check it's on. Let's try again, shall we? It's take 25. There you go. So again, we've got a lovely little image coming through with it and things really. So again, as far as the look and the feel to the image is concerned, we've got a lovely soft light. We've got big space. So as far as the composition is concerned, by having the kind of the netting so high, it allows us to really kind of get a kind of a great spatial awareness around the image, especially if you're still into the habit of shooting the old format like 10/8 and so on. Basically, if we crop off the top, pretty much it's a perfect kind of crop with it. If you need to actually fill in the light balance, the light or the shadow area more, we could use reflectors and so on. Let's use that secondary light. If we switch them both on, this is going to light a little bit of the net in, but it's also going to give a little bit of a separation onto the body as well. Let's do the same thing, Molly. So we can see that straight away. We've got two kind of looks and feels without any trouble at all there. Okay, so that's number one. As far as our setup is concerned, we've got that kind of net in one place and we've got a light from the highlight coming in another. Obviously with the highlight plane, we could easily shoot Molly now. Just, if you stand in front of that for me a minute, please, Molly. Go back to group 4. If you turn your back to me fully again, please. And we just bring one hand up to the bra strap. That's lovely. And again. So from there, we've got a lovely image. It's shooting against the light. It's white. The one thing I'll say, though, if it's looking ever a little bit yellow to you, a little bit orange, it's probably because the diffusion material of sorts is not quite color balanced right. And especially if you're buying very, very cheap products, even netting from the likes of IKEA will throw a different kind of color. So there are times that you'll want to actually just shift into auto white balance. Let me shoot one of those for you. Same shot for me, please, Mol. That's lovely, darling. Turn the head to me a touch more. That's lovely there. Relax. You'll see then it's basically going to create a whiter, brighter light, yes? But I much prefer to fix everything in the post from beginning to end, all right? Molly, I'm going to bring you back onto the sofa for a minute, just while I change things around. So we've kind of got two types of image straight away, three types if we include that. I want to kind of create a bit more of a bigger bedroom set. So I mentioned that we've put this kind of Tether Tools clamp onto a background. It's definitely not what it was designed for, or it is designed doing what it's designed for, whichever way you want to think about it. So now we've created a window set fully. So Molly, I think we'll start. If you kind of just come and kneel in front of here for me. I'll meter the flash though first, just to save your knees. If you just bear with me for 1 second. So with the metering, I can either meter towards the light here or against the light. I'm going to meter towards the light, yes. So just here, f2.8. So again, increasing the power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here we go. Here's my f4. Molly, if you'd like to go, well, let's, you know what, let's stand first, shall we? D. So let's go into the netting just a little bit. That's beautiful. Let's scoop it around you and shuffle backwards more and turning the head round towards here for me. That's the loveliest there. Let's do it. So the same thing again. So we've got that lovely kind of wrapping exposure all the way around. All right, that's great. Remember at this point, I can actually shoot in the line of the shot. Molly, just move this way a little bit for me. Physically move. That's lovely, darling. Perfect. That's just so I can avoid from having to crop off the background. I hate a lazy crop where possible. What I was on about was having the likes of this dark corner of the background showing now. Can you see it? It means I've either got to fix it or kind of clone it in or whatever it be. So we've got a great little image there. Do I want to put this in place yet? Probably, but let's leave it out of shot for a second and just work with the highlight. Molly, I'm going to get you just sat, please, on the front end of that bed, please. Molly knows that this is a blow-up bed, so it means if she sits on the front end of the bed, she's not going to fall off. If the client doesn't know it's a blow-up bed and they sit right on the edge, they'll fall off. You haven't fallen off there yet, have you? I have. Okay, let's do the same thing. So in the same way, quick kind of shot with it. Stay there for me. Great. So we've got a nice little image coming through, much more lower key. We can see already there's some Photoshop work to do in here because of the plug in the background and so on. The main thing though is actually we've got a lovely light. So if I just change my lens just for 1 minute to the 85, and let's go to just adjusting your strap on the garter there, shall we? Do the same shot, relax. So we've got a really nice image there. If we want to kind of change the background a little bit more, we could of course start to use things like a pop-up. We'll definitely use this one now in a minute when we get her layer down in the bed, but let's put it in place for now. Let's go in and just step in a little bit closer to show the background. If I want to add some separation light to Molly, so you can see how great that looks, yeah? If I want to add some separation light in, let's bring this beauty in. So remember, it's a gridded box. So it's not going to allow the light just to fly all over the place. It has some control. Let's do the same thing. Put my skyport trigger onto all. And then do the same shot. Let's do it. Keep it. And now you can see the separation actually come through on the hair. If it's a bit too bright, which it obviously is, we meter it first, reduce it down in power, get the right exposure, meter it, and then you basically don't have to fix everything from there on. So as it is, it's kind of glamorous in the light, but if it's more than 2 stops, it's going to burn out. I like to kind of have it 1 stop less or equal to. So can we go to the close-up again? You can see that was reading F8, yeah? So we've got to get that down. So now all I do is to reduce it down in power. We can see I've got a minus and a plus button. I just do here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, whoops, 20. Okay, so there's my 2 full stops. That will actually, if I metered that straight away, it's going to be to F4. Remember, F4, 5, 6, F8. I want to do it another stop though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as long as the light will allow it to go down enough, we're going to be able to get it below the f4. So as you can see here, it's now come down to the 2.83. All right, so it's pretty much closer to what we want it to be. Right, let's do that same shot, and then we'll just do that quick comparison. There we go. Remember, we're live, so if you've got any questions, get them in live and we'll answer those at the end. So you can see the difference between the controlled separation light and the burnout light anyway. Right, nice. Mol, if you jump up for me, I'm going to turn the bed around and I'm going to get you laying on it. Okay. So, just to keep Molly's dignity, of course, we'll keep your head up this end, yeah? So I'll move the cushions offset, just so they can see you. If you pop your feet down to that corner and head up towards there, please, Molly. Back to my 50 mil. Remember, you know, the same thing being when you kind of zoom back with your lens, the same as going from an 85 to a 50. The biggest problem that we've got with that, it starts to bring other parts of the set in, yeah? So, I'm going to push you. Sorry, Molly. There you go, darling. Meter in for group 4. So, as I'm only interested in probably at the mid section, down 2/10. And now I've got my kind of image. So, let's do the same thing. Molly, back to me, please. It's gorgeous, darling, that's there. So that should be a really great shot. It's beautiful, and if I want the kind of the wall in the image, so if I take it with the 50 mil, you'll see the problem that no matter what, you've got that background off the edges to fix, which I don't want to do. I want to shoot it pretty much as is. So zoom with your feet before your lens. And that's the same thing there, okay? So even though we haven't got as much of the body in, there's less work to be doing and so on. If we wanted to just run with the daylight, so in other words, we just switch it back to group 4, that's just the big window light that's going to fire. Keep it. And that's going to give us that more kind of controlled, more kind of Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning kind of look and feel. So that's without that separation light in. Remember, by default, we want to have at least 4 points of the shot. So remember, if you're joining us live now, this is all about small studio spaces, maximizing the space and what you can basically do in a 5 meter by 5 meter room. But today we're working on that kind of 2.5 to 3 meter space, the 3 sides here. So the one thing I want to do is definitely shoot towards this window light, yes? But when I shoot against the light, really what I don't want to do is get Molly to look at me. Thanks, Molly. You did that pose beautifully, darling. And remember, if you're getting some kind of qualities of color that you don't like, remember you could shift into auto white balance. Do the same pose, please, darling. Keep it. That same thing will obviously adjust the color as you go, but even that might not be accurate. So I always prefer to do it, as I said to you before, in the actual post-production by picking on gray or something that is neutral. So when we're photographing, I want to shoot from here. I want to shoot from here. At times, I want to shoot from the window towards the subject, but that's going to be a flatter light. I definitely want to avoid from photographing from the legs unless I'm featuring tattoos or whatever it is. And another position I want to do is from the bed, above the bed. So let's do that. If you stay here, darling. She was aware I was going to be doing that, okay? So just give you the heads up. Remember live, so any questions is cool. Mol's going to turn the head that way for me again, towards the light for me. It's beautiful, it's there. Keep it. So there's from the head. This is the body shot again. Keep it. We're not going to shoot from the tattoos today. We're going to shoot from the light itself. So just coming in towards the inner light. This is going to give me a flatter light source. Eyes at me, please, darling. That's lovely. And then, of course, we're going to shoot the overhead. So there's our fourth position. Okie doke. So with that in mind, let's now change up the scene a little bit more. Molly, if you jump off that end for me, is that okay? Thank you, darling. So we're looking for the floor shot. So let's move this out of the way. We didn't shoot towards there yet, did we? No. Okay, let's move the bed out of the shot for a minute. Molly, I think we'll just do the kneel-in shot first for me, if you could, please. Any way you want. It's only be a quickie because we're going to be laying down in a minute. Oh, I'd lied. Turn that way a little bit. That's lovely, it's there. And one hand up to here, I think. Other head looking off to there. Keep it. So there's our one shot. If we want to do the little bit more of the mid to the lower key, let's start to use our drama light here. Meter in again, just for 1 second to guarantee we've got the image. So this is my group 1. Metering towards the light, it's 2.8, apply a full stop. There we go. It gives me an audio to say I'm ready. Then I can shoot the same thing. So this is group 1 now. Much more drama within the image. Okay, totally different just from changing the one light to the other. Molly, we're going to bring your head here, legs towards this direction, please. Let's move this out of the way a minute. So this is kind of the overall big image. I'm going to be photographing from above. This is where I will swap to the 24 to 105 lens. Reason being, it's just a lot easier for me to get the full length, yeah? One of the great things if you choose an aperture like f4 and you are using a zoom lens that has restrictions like my 24 to 105, which its aperture is f4 as minimum, then at least I get that shot. Let's do the same thing. So, oh, wrong button. I wanted the other light. It's okay, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Ish. Okay, let's do it again. Keep it. Let me just check I've got you in shot. It's lovely. I'm just going to increase that exposure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am going to put it onto auto white balance so you guys at home can see how good it is. Do it. Zoom out. Should get a great image now. It's beautiful. Just to the close-up as well. Keep it. And again. Looking away, please, Molly. Excellent. Okay, darling. It's like musical chairs with us today, isn't it? You must be knackered. Okay, let's finish off. So we've done our kind of higher key. At this stage, I'd probably actually encourage Molly to go off and get changed. I should say we've recorded a session before today, well, now. Literally just about 20 minutes we finished before we went live, and it was the very first time we're photographing in this space, so kind of just learning that space a little bit. So you can actually watch that on the Academy over the next few weeks, ad-free of course, and things ready. Right, Princess, jump up for me if you could. I just need to shoot against the pink, so if you come and stand against the pink. This is this cheap Chinese background that I was on about to you. To be fair, it could be from anywhere. It could be from Barnsley. It's just arrived 7 weeks and it cost us four quid. That's the only thing I know, yeah? So back to my 50. Let's go flatter with the light first. So a little bit more kind of glamorous girl. That's gorgeous, just there with it. Kind of a little bit of kind of push here. That's gorgeous. Keep it. Focus 1 and... there. Do you know what I'm going to do, Molly? I do apologise. I'm going to just take a meter reading just to ensure. Group 1. 5.6. It's a good job I did because that was a stop too much. Let's do the same thing. Just focus on the face again. Keep it. It's gorgeous. Let's pop body towards the side, just profile. and just pop the hands behind your back, I think, really. Straight at me again, darling. We used this in our Instagram shoot, didn't we, that we did with you. It's gorgeous there. Right, relax. So there's our next background. However, we've done something sneaky again. Mistress, that corner, please. Do you know what? Before we do that, come and stand but pretty much in the same place where you were. And I'll just use that shocking pink, the bubblegum, yeah? I'm just going to turn this just into there, and I'm going to move my stool, move the bed. I need to do all these things anyway. Pretty much, I would encourage you to change set just while the client goes off to get changed. Why? Because obviously it's quicker. They don't see some of the faff. But it's also good so you can kind of have a little bit of a time out yourself and things. Let's do the same thing, keep it, and again, come up to me a little bit more. That's gorgeous there, it's gorgeous. Keep it, again. Body around towards me, please, Moll, that's lovely. Lower the chin a touch more, darling. Left hand to the hair, it's gorgeous. Left hand to the bra strap, that's lovely. Cheeky here, just a little bit of expression. It's gorgeous there. So we've got our real bubblegum kind of colouring. So as I said, I'm just going to change the backdrop. Molly, do you mind just coming off set for me? Thank you. And just need to move this light out of shot for a minute. So just like we did on the other side, to maximise the shoot space, and to allow us to have somewhere to finish off with the client to explain about the buy-in process of our services, I hid the reveal wall, which is basically prints in mounts, yeah? I hid those just behind this backdrop. So let's bring that closed again. So this is, again, just a load of IKEA netting material and drapes. Let's bring our lighting in again. Let's meter. Needs 5/10. There we go. Moll, jump in there for me, babe. Let's finish as we began, is it? Just drape yourself in some of the netting. It's gorgeous there, let's do it. Quick test. Always, anytime I change, so it doesn't matter if I'm going to do 1 shot or 20 shots, I want to check it. It's lovely. It's there again. Turn the head more for me, darling. It's beautiful. And again, turn the body away. Can you slip this strap? Slip it off. Hang on to them. That's gorgeous there. Let's do it. Twist the head round to me a little bit more, Molly. Just bring the head forward of the netting more. That's beautiful. And again, happier, just a touch. Stay there for me for 1 second. Looks really good, in fact. But let's just add some light behind you. You're okay a minute. I'm just going to clip off this light, this background. That's just going to fall behind there. Move my stool away, and let's go grab this light. And pretty much, let's just put it behind. So it's nice and safe, Moll. It's not going to go anywhere. What I am going to do, though, is we have this pink background hidden behind here. This bubblegum pink that we just used. I'll slide that out, because really what I'm looking for is the light to come through. Let's turn this down by 2 stops. That's a start point, and just do the last shot live. Let's have a little look. So onto both images. It's gorgeous there. Let me check, it looks great. Oh, it's lovely, love it. Just bring your head forward of this netting just a little bit more. That's lovely, I like that too. Turn the hand to the side, that's gorgeous. Lean into it, please, more. Raise the chin, it's gorgeous, darling. Happier. I love photographing you. Thank you very much, Molly. We're done. You're an angel. Are you all safe? We'll stay on screen for a minute just for Molly to escape. You escaping, Mol? Thank you very much. Excellent. Right, we're done. We got through quite a lot there, and we are live. Brandon, any questions at all? Yep. Oh, we got questions. Yay! Let's see who this is brought with by today. It's brought by Coke Zero. Welcome. No, it's not really. Go on, then. Questions? I can still hear you if you shout. I've been asking him for a long time to put a microphone on as well, so I don't have to repeat the question. Do you think he'll do it? No, he won't.
First question is, what's your go-to light meter?
My go-to light meter is whatever is at hand. I've basically got the Sekonic Lightmaster Pro. This is the one that is linked into the Elinchrom kind of lights. Yeah. But again, depends on what you use. So this one is specific that it will control the Elinchrom lights. It will also fire and meter all other flash and daylight. It'll allow me to choose whether it's going to be a it'll allow me to choose whether I'm going for aperture or shutter speed. Obviously, in the likes of flash photography, it's all about the shutter speed. This was the original Sekonic Lightmaster Pro that I kind of got years and years ago. And as you'll see, this one is pretty much for pocket wizard. I'm not sure if that's clear or not with it and things really. So those are the kind of the high-end ones. But to be fair, as long as you go for something as simple as this kind of Sekonic one, you're not going to go wrong. It pretty much has all the capabilities the other, except telling the lights to fire. There's a little kind of cord connector here. Can't get off now. Right, underneath there's a cord connector. It's never come off. And that's where you kind of plug in your sync cord to actually fire a flash. But otherwise, you just kind of do it manually. But Sekonic is my go-to, and I only wish I got paid for the amount of the light meters I've sold over the years and things really. But hey ho. Next question is. Brilliant, so you can't hear Brandon, but he's saying somebody's followed on and they're using the basic Sekonic meter and they get great results from it as well, yeah.
What shutter speed have you been using?
Shutter speed we were using was 160th of a second. I could use 125th or whatever. Because I'm using f4, I'm trying to cut down on some of the ambient light within the room. Can we cut to camera 1, please? So basically, we've got some of the fluorescence on. That is just to give a little bit of illumination in the room for Brandon rather than me, okay? So that is just to bring up that little bit of light. In front of me, there's basically a big window, a church window, which has all beautiful, very strong light. Great for photography early in the day, up until about 1 o'clock, and then obviously it's all in Studio One. But this is a beautiful kind of window to feature, and you can see that in lots of my shoots and lots of my videos that I've done in the past and things really. I was just asking Molly before we went live, in fact, if she'd been photographed up here in Studio 2 before, and she said the last time was on a workshop many years ago, I think when we first met, isn't it? Does that help, or have I waffled?
No, that helps.
That helps, okay, good. Next. Yep.
What is the purpose of it? Is it blocking the window?
Okay.
Or is it just there to hold up the shears?
Okay, so the question was, what's the purpose of the event background and what's it doing? Does it really need to be there? No, it doesn't need to be there. However, when I was designing this studio layout, remember it's going to change from tomorrow into a headshot studio straight away. So next week we're doing headshots. And I was trying to actually bring all the equipment more or less together that I might be using in a general way. The reason I went for the event background was if I wanted a large, low-key kind of look and feel to the shot, then that was an easy way to actually use it. So even though we haven't used it here, if you've seen some of my faceless, more kind of edgier kind of boudoir photography, kind of the 50 Shades of Grey sinuation kind of thing, then you'll know actually in the lower key it's very, very dramatic. But also, even though I didn't mention that we didn't use today, we put some of the colours up on the paper rolls. I always want a mid-grey, okay, because I can turn that black or white, but obviously I've got a white wall, so I don't need to be doing that. But I want that there no matter what, a neutral colour. If I was to add gel to grey, it basically creates more saturation, even more if it was a black background, but as a rule of thumb, grey's better for the way I work. Then I put in one of my favourite colours, which is teal. I know it's going out of fashion, some say, but hey-ho, I like that. And we basically just put a red in, a shocking red. I do love this kind of Valentine's red for many things. Have we shot you in Valentine's red? I don't think we have we? Mark on the notes. There we go. Anything else, Brandon? Do I ever use a grey card to a white balance? Yeah, if we're ever confused. In studio, it's a little less necessary as such. Have you used my grey card today? Is it still in my bag? There we go. He does steal stuff, all right? But that's the little kind of grey card. So if I'm ever in any need, if I was getting a lot of contamination of colour, just kind of pointing it towards it, I can either just shoot the grey card, use the grey card later on in the post-production to click to kind of reset colours, or I can custom balance on this. It's very, very quick if you use the likes of a Canon, a Nikon, but with a Canon we basically have to take the photograph of it, and then basically we can say use this image as our custom balance color, and then it will basically shoot in that color balance for the future. Now with the Nikon, once you put it into the pre, it basically kind of is waiting for you to take a photograph. It acknowledges the grey and then it sets the color balance to a neutral straight away. The only thing it doesn't do at that point is take a photograph of the grey card. And I would always encourage you to have a shot of the grey card on kind of your card or your drive. Anything else there?
Yeah, just to follow up on that is, do you personally use it in the post-production?
I tend to use a kind of a grey card with lots of colours on, and the reason being on that is so that in a commercial world a client can see accurate colour. So I basically supply them with that kind of card as well with it and things really. But as far as working in the same scenario all the time, if you've been watching Photoshop School with us, Monday live at 1 o'clock, on our kind of academy site, you'll see that basically most of the time I teach you the get out of jail free for basically if you forgot to shoot a grey card or if it's corrupted or whatever it'll be and things really. So I show you the tricks on that. Plus obviously when you are shooting a grey card, it's a quick way, as I said, to actually reset the whole of the shoot. So if I'm photographing a grey card, I'm usually doing it to basically make it look correct at the time of the shoot. Remember, looking at a monitor, I'm looking at 3 different types of monitor in front of me, and they're all a slightly different color. So again, we want to make sure we're working on a calibrated screen and making sure our screens are calibrated.
Great. Final question.
Final question, he says.
Have you ever done any boudoir videos in pure natural light?
Have we ever done any boudoir videos in pure natural light? Hundreds of them. Just watch the Academy and you'll see loads of them. So yeah, in fact, I'm not sure it's on YouTube at all, but one of our kind of most watched videos is posing guides. We tend to actually do the posing guides for you in natural light. And the reason that we do that is so that you're not getting hung up on where the light is going to be. You're concentrating on the pose, but we do that, explain that at the beginning. So yeah, you know, the posing guides and the posing flow and the videos that we make, we use everything from speed light to natural light to studio flash to raw flash to small flash. It's whatever you want. We try and kind of give you as much versatility and variety, and obviously that's one of the benefits of being a member of the Academy. That's a lot. Thanks for joining me live. Molly, you were an angel sent to me from heaven. Thank you very, very much. I got to see something very, very special when she arrived today, and I can't tell you at all, but it's very exciting. Thanks for joining me live. We'll see you next week with Molly, and we're headshots. So we're setting up the studio tomorrow. At least Sean and Brandon are. I'm basically at my desk. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.